My name is Tammy Rivera, Executive Director of SOC. Super happy to be here serving the community today. Today we have a very packed full forum for you guys. Today, well, the forum is in Spanish, but today's topic is the Latino community and LGBTQ. So we're going to make sure that all of you guys have access to the forum, to the information, so that everybody can put in comments, because I can't see who's with us until you guys say hi or give us a comment during the forum. I know there's going to be a lot of links that are shared, and that'll have lots more information. So please keep an eye out for all of that. I want to say thank you to some of SOC's members. We have a lot of people that are learning new roles. So first, we have a new production, and we want to really thank Edith for taking on that role. And then Marisol is training her. And then we have some other new members of our team that are also learning and learning about the different roles that they're going to have. So I want to remind you guys that we have been with you every day of the pandemic since the beginning, not in person completely, kind of, outside. We're still not in person. You can see that I'm in my office, but it's not open to the public. But we're here for you guys and with you guys, and you have access to us in all the ways that you used to, just not in person. So you can call us 672-8090. You can send emails, soc@socmilwaukee.org. And then there's also our website where there's lots of information. The and we also have a page completely dedicated to COVID information, resources, everything that you could need, everything about COVID. www.socmilwaukee.org. All right, people. So let's look at the themes for today. And I have lots of announcements too. So we're very happy that our guest today, Sandra Zapata, she is the executive manager of the community center here in Milwaukee, LGBTQ+. So let's welcome her. Sandra. Hey, Tammy, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well. And thank you for being with us. We have so much to talk about. It's the first time that we've had you here on the forum. So I'm very grateful that you're here with us. So, Sandra, first of all, tell us about your role at the organization. Well, my name is Sandra Zapata. I've been working at the LGBTQ Community Center for a little over 2 years now. I started doing bilingual therapy, but I've been going up and up. And now my new role has been changing little by little. And now I'm doing more with supervising, making sure that we're providing all the services that the community needs. So it's a super exciting role. knowing that we've been growing as an organization and giving so many opportunities to see all the different ways we offer services. And this way, hopefully, we can change things a little bit. The way that, things are done in certain communities. Sometimes LGBTQ people in the community are a minority, like in the Latino community or in the Asian community, all of those places where they don't know us, they don't know what we do and how can we help. So thank you so much for the invitation. It's so great to be here and have these conversations with you, so that people in Milwaukee know that we are here if they need anything. Well, first of all, congratulations on your new role with the organization. So tell us a little bit, Sandra, what is the mission of the organization and what are the services that you guys offer to the community? Well, our mission is for people that are LGBTQ plus community can be in a place without being scared, that confirms people, it accepts people without discrimination or fear so that they can have the support and not be judged. And this way we can make sure that they have a life where they don't have to be worried about what could happen outside. So it's so important to us, for everybody to be comfortable, that there's no stigma that you could see in other places. And so, what are the programs and the services that you offer? And what can the community use? We have a bunch of services. So, maybe, like, I'm the only person that speaks Spanish, but I can go so that people can come and, maybe make a group. When we do have different groups, um, we try to help and support people by their ages. So we have a young people group, 13 to 24 years old. And then we also have a space that's just for them. And then obviously with COVID that started last year, and we had to change a lot of things that we were using. So a lot of the things that we were using, a lot of the services that we were doing, we had to change to virtual. So now we're here in the center on Tuesdays from 3 to 5. And that way people can be here, they can get to know other young people, and maybe they're just an ally that wants to come and start to see the connections. And this is specifically for young people. Obviously, before the pandemic, we were having more in person groups. We would have music therapy or take a photography class. Not, not everything is a conversation about sex, but we do have people that come and talk about sexuality. It's one of those themes that, topics that, sometimes parents don't feel comfortable having that conversation, but we want them to feel safe and talk about, relationships, toxic things, so that they feel free, right? Mhm. Mhm. sometimes we're embarrassed to talk about those things. And that's why we need people that are experts that can have those conversations where they can have, ask any questions and have a safe place for them. So there's art, there's music, there's all of those things. Everything changes, but nothing changes because, before you couldn't talk about those things, right? But we had to learn little by little by different programs in the community. So, are there programs for parents or for other families in the community, in the LGBTQ plus community? Yes. So, we have the space, and I'm going to be honest, what's happened is that we opened groups and there was lots of mobility, and then all of a sudden, not it's not that there's no need, but people don't come as much, and the group just dies down. And then when we see that there's a need, then we'll open it back up because we're trying to open up space for people that need it. Okay, let's do it. So then we need to have the flexibility to say, all right, this group has the need. So how are we going to do that? Or how can we help with the wishes or the needs that they have? So we've had lots of different conversations with parents, and they'll call me and they'll say, I think my kid's gay. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, what do I do? So sometimes there's nobody else that they can ask, right? And, it's not always a conversation that needs to happen. Sometimes they just want to be accepted by their family, but, they can't bring their significant other. And so then maybe we do need to talk a little bit more. We need to have those conversations just openly, like any person with any sexual preference. Yes, this is my significant other. And to be able to just have conversations with your parents or, my kid came out of the closet. I don't know what that means. I don't know what to do. Okay, let's talk about it. What does that mean for your daughter or for your son? And what could that person be going through? Especially if it's not voluntary, it's a little more complicated because there's more stigma that comes with that. It's one thing when you're in the community and you say, I'm gay, I'm bisexual, but when it's accidentally, it can be traumatic because you don't have control about what's being said or what information is being released. So we have a parents group that gets together once a month because also parents have questions and they want to be able to help their kids. Thank you. Well, Sandra, what is the things that our community members from the LGBTQ plus community, what are they fighting against? I know there's lots, but what is the biggest things that they're confronting right now? Well, LGBTQ plus kids are facing bigger obstacles to have mental health resources. Violence is just it's happening more in the community, especially in the Latin or African American community. There's so much violence between the communities, and we're seeing our kids to not feel safe to say, "This is who I am." And generally, what's happening, what they think is that, I can't come out of the closet because first I have to, have this conversation. I have to protect my house, because if people find out, nobody's going to talk to me anymore. And it's really interesting as a community to have the conversations. And if the family is united and close, somebody comes out of the closet, that's not always what happens. And so they think, I can't come out. Maybe somebody's going to reject me. My family's going to reject me. And that's when we see domestic violence. And these conversations, kids don't cry, you're not a girl, talking about femininity, or you look like a girl. And then you're saying that it's bad to be a girl to start things out. And okay, you are a man, you can't cry, you can't have feelings. It's like it's false identity. Okay, we can be strong and talk about our feelings. If somebody hits you and it hurts, then you cry. That's what happens. It doesn't mean you're a girl. We have that macho theme in our community, and then there's part of that comes from the young people that don't want to talk about that, or they feel like they can't, and then they end up saying, the only way that I'm going to be able to be happy within the community is if I separate from my family. So violence at home happens a lot. So, oh, it's not that. Sorry, we're losing the audio a little bit. And identifying that it's not just being rejected, but there's danger of being rejected, and physical danger at school, at home. And then there's the point of not having access to mental health resources. So all of that just keeps piling up for our members of the community. So let's share, is with the community. Is there a cost for the services? Nope. We have um, different um, support groups. Is if you're trans, if you're maybe a man that's coming out of the closet, if you're an adult, we have groups for young people. We have domestic violence groups, sexual assault. We have different support groups depending on your needs. So a lot of our services don't have any costs. So did you talk? Well, you talked about well, you speak Spanish, right? So are there? It's available for English and in Spanish? Well, honestly, we could create whatever we need, because we don't see a lot of people that need my service. But we have, we could call interpreters if it's needed. I'm here, and lots of events, um, we do bilingual to make sure everybody has access. So, Sandra, if there's somebody that wants access to your programs, where can they call? Where do they go? Or can you share that information? Yes, our phone number is 262 409 8434. And is there an email available? Yeah, it'd be my personal email, S for Sandra Zapata, Zapata, Zapata at mklgbtq.org. And then can you share the address of the center? We just moved to a new building. We're at 315 West Court Street. Mhm. And where is that found in the city? It's between Cherry and where like Manpower is. So it's a little north by Fiserv. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, just a few blocks from Fiserv. All right, folks. We've shared everything in the comments, the emails, the phone numbers. All right, let's invite people in. How can they help you guys with the work that you're doing? For those people that are LGBTQ or not, allies, um, the public, what kind of support do you all need, and how can we do it? How can we help? We have lots of events that we do, whether it's virtual or in person. Obviously, we're still in COVID, so we have to be careful. But if you want to be a volunteer, if you want to come in, if you have an idea, if you want to do a fundraiser, come in and help to share information. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram. It's so important for the community to help us. Sometimes we have information for how to, change your language so you're a little more inclusive. And we're always here to help, people have conversations. If you know somebody that needs help, give us a call. So let's see in the comments. Let's see if there's any questions. Let's see. If you're with us today, let us know. We can say hi. It's been a long time since I've seen you guys, and I haven't been able to talk to you guys. Diana Becerra says, thank you so much for talking about this theme. It's so important. Thank you, Diana, for being with us. Is there something else that you would like to share today before we finish? Well, just follow us so you can see the different events. By the end of this month, we'll have a Day of the Dead event. If people wanted to come, we're going to have sweetbread and hot chocolate. Again, congratulations on your role. We appreciate you being here. We really appreciate you here at SOC. And hopefully you can be with us again soon. Yes, of course. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Let's keep going. Let's see if there's let's see if there's questions. Let's see if the next guest is here. Let's see. We have some comments that you guys can see, and we also have a comments line. So if our guest is here, come back on. We have the Roberto Hernandez director, UW Milwaukee, Alberto Maldonado. Let's give him a good welcome. Hey, Tammy, how are you? Good afternoon. I haven't seen your face. It's so good to see you. Yes, you too. I love sharing with you. And thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you again. We all have so much happening. I know. And the community is just filling up with formations and activities, and you remember the public. Well, first let's talk about the center, and then we'll talk about the events. Okay. Well, obviously, students from our community, we've been here 51 years helping people at UW Milwaukee, offering academic support to our Hispanic students. Also helping to create even more of a connection with our community. That was a mission from the beginning, that when it was established for the center. And also we want the students to aspire not to just graduate, but to also continue here in the community, in the corporate world, and graduate school, postgraduate school. Yes, thank you so much for sharing. Now, let's let people know what is happening. You guys have an event that's called, wow, that was a long one. It's activism for Latinos. It's on the 21st of October. Okay, community presentation of Latino activism, oral history, and archives. So let people know what's happening. You got lots of different events, but today we're going to talk about this one. Yes, and thank you so much for letting me talk about this, because it's so important that our community understands and that they know about our history, not just about the center, but activism and the community. So many different things are produced in the 60s, 70s. And here at the university, we've done our homework um, to do interviews, histories, um, art, different articles for the past few years. We've been able to do different types of investigations with the mission of giving a voice to those people that didn't have a voice, to give the women and the grandmas and the students, to old alumni, to be able to put their piece into the history. Specifically, with talking about the creation of the Roberto Hernandez Center and the Spanish Speaking Outreach Institute, how that was founded. So we want to invite people to come to the anniversary of the 21st of October to learn all about where this information comes from, what's the history, and how they can have access to all these black and white pictures. Um, and to learn about Milwaukee and the Hispanic community, and can share that with the community. So everybody has contributed and what they've contributed. Is there a cost for the program? No, it's completely free for the entire community. And also, we're all gonna that same day, we're gonna be talking about immigration communities here, and we're going to be talking about activism in the Hispanic community, and we're also going to be talking about different images like exhibitions, Wisconsin humanities. So we're going to have a whole lot of information that day. And when you have that exhibition, you'll be able to talk about the community and where all of the history comes from, everything that's happened in the past few years. And then eventually we have a surprise. We're trying to take that history to the classrooms, to the communities, different school districts. And then we're not going to stop there. We want to keep going. It's so important that our kids learn because, we are where we are today thanks to all that. Is the exhibition before, during, after? The exhibition will start that same day and will go all month. The exhibition, the stories about the activism will all be available. Families can come, not just that day, but other days as well. And where is the building? Where the exhibition? The same spot as the event. We're going to transform the library. Golda Meir is their library. They're right down at the heart of the UW Milwaukee. So it'll be up on the fourth floor in the conference room, but the exhibition will be on different floors. And the exhibition, is that the same one that Jesus Salas did with the Wisconsin Humanities Council, or is that different? It's part of the series. There will be quite a few different people that'll be there that's sharing. Patricia Torres will be there talking about the work that we've been doing. Felipe Rodriguez, he's been my mentor. And then there's, quite a few other people that we've invited as well. I'm sure you're going to be with us again, but I really just appreciate you coming. Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care. We have so much information for you guys, and I hate cutting people off. I mean, I do have a few other announcements though, and then we're going to keep going on to our other segments. Today, we're talking about a critical event, a critical update. Today is the last day that you can respond to the commissions, the Fair Maps Commission for the redistribution of districts. They shared their first version of maps, the district maps. The first maps, it's going to be a problem for our community and for our African American community as well. And we have allies, coworkers that need our help. And we have to look at all of these districts that represent the African American and Latino communities. So once all of that information is utilized to be able to make new maps in different districts, political areas that are representing our communities, one of the things that we can do is to make sure that the communities that have historically been not represented or restricted in their representation, those maps will last until the next census. So it is critical for us to respond, to share. We'll share the website. It's in English, but don't worry about it. Put your answers in Spanish and we will pressure them to have somebody translate them. But the message is this: the maps that were made will reduce the representation for our communities. We're going to lose districts. For example, we could lose from the 6 districts that we have, we could take it down to 4. That's a huge thing. So the representation has been explained to us, and it's urgent to reply, to respond online today. Some of you guys participated with SOC on lining out, setting out lines or borders for those districts because sometimes it's complicated. And then they do that with the intention of us not participating. But some of you guys shared with us trainings and then you turned in your maps. The young people that have been with us also participated. But what happens? The first website where we put in the maps was changed to another one. And automatically they didn't receive the maps. That's another way to not count us or try to restrict our voice. So we want to, well, first of all, they changed where they were doing the map. Then they, I think they just shared it on Tuesday. There's not enough time to respond. And then third, they're going to restrict our representation. And we can't accept any of that. So if you have a question or if you want help to be able to express yourself, to communicate with us, we'll be happy to help. Another urgent topic. Monday, Voces de la Frontera has a march, 11:30 in the morning. And they have a new office, if you haven't seen it, on 7th and Mitchell. It's a new office. And then the march will be from 7th and Mitchell to downtown to the Federal Justice Building. So then we will share the link for the event, everything that's going to be in English and in Spanish. And then from there, you guys can learn the details of the events. So I am taking Monday off. I will be there, 7th and Mitchell, 7th in the morning, and we will be marching downtown to the Federal Justice Building. So what is the march about? Again, like we do annually, a day without Latinos, without work, without school, without buying anything. To be able to show them, to be able to lift up our voice and to demand representation to pass the immigration reform right now is a super critical time, and we have to help the community. Our officials, um, how does it feel to not have us in the community, to not have us working? And so they take action on this point to have this reform approved. So there's the link for that. So that was our last critical announcement. But today, I imagine that we're still having the meeting that's happening. The committee, the Fire and Police Commission, has a meeting today, and they're doing interviews for the chief of police. They're asking Norman, who is a temporary chief, and they're trying to find a permanent chief to nominate him or a different person. So the reunion you got or the meeting, you guys can see it started at 5:30, but they have very long meetings. So the other thing that's happening, there's a link that you can follow to see all of the information. And then there's another link that has LY, it's a big long one. And so that's the link that you want to follow so that you can participate virtually. So if you want to hear what's happening with the interim chief, that's where you can see it. There are other actions that they're going to be talking about, that they're going to be doing. Super important. And they're going to be talking about and making decisions about, how do you say this in Spanish? Standard operating procedures. So the guides that they use to operate as police, what they can and can't do. And so today they're going to see if they can modify them. I think this is going to be super important. You guys know that the ACLU had a agreement with the city because they sued them. They said about the police having contact, doing interviews and searches without just cause. So what they can do or can't do, that's one of the things that they're going to be talking about today to see if they can modify that. Also, the use of force. That's another thing that they're going to talk about. And lately, cameras, the body cameras that they've been using, another thing. We're going to have to modify it yet again. So I know we're finishing soon. We're going to go over there, watch the link, see what's happening, so that we can have a voice in these decisions. We had Alberto Maldonado with us. We can have that event coming up the October 21st at 5:30 at the library at the university. Today is the last day that we can report to redistricting the maps. So all of the links are there. And we have our day without Latinos. And then last, we can see the meeting or you can see people that are doing interviews for the interim chief, Norman. Is he staying or will they look for another one? Making rules about what the police can and cannot do. So now we're going to change it up a little bit and we're going to have an update on what's happening with COVID. And Edith is going to share that. Welcome, and thanks for being with us. I am Belen Morin Badley, and today I have a CDC expert, Edgar Monterroso. Dr. Monterroso is an epidemiologist. That means he's like a disease detective. Thank you, doctor, for being with us. Thank you, Belen. It's a pleasure to be here with you. What should somebody do if they get sick or think that they have the virus? If somebody thinks that they have COVID-19, they should contact their medical provider immediately, stay home, and keep track of their symptoms. Most people, it's not serious, and they recuperate at home. Any signs that you need to look for emergency care would be shortness of breath, and you should look for medical care immediately. You should avoid public transportation and shared vehicles. Using a face covering if you have to be around any other people. If you have to share space, make sure there's air circulation in the room. Open a window, turn on a fan if it's possible to open up that circulation. To improve the circulation, it also helps to decrease droplets. Rest, be hydrated, drink lots of liquids, keep in contact with your doctor. Call before you get medical attention and be sure to use your face mask when you go to your appointment. If you'd like more information in Spanish, visit www.cdc.gov/Spanish, also in Facebook and YouTube. Great information just to remember what we all have to do to get out of this pandemic. Thank you so much. Now let's see if we have an update about our programs and services for civic engagement. Let's share another segment. The Census of 2020. Every 10 years, the Office of the Census counts all of the people that live in the United States. The census is more than a count of the population. It's an essential part of our democracy and has the power to shape our future. Our objective is to count everybody once and in the correct place. It's such an important job. But how do we know if we're actually doing it correctly? First, it's important to verify the quality of our work every step of the process. For example, the form that's online includes instructions to help other people and make sure they're completing it precisely. When we send Census to knock on your door, we're also verifying the quality of their work. Once we have all of the information, we start counting. When we add up all the numbers, we verify that they have been processed correctly and that it makes sense comparing it with the other data. If something doesn't look correct, we will look into it further. And if there's a problem, we will correct it. Once we're done adding everything up and verifying it, we publish the new counts. and everything is confidential. After the publication of the information, we keep analyzing even deeper to evaluate the quality of the data. We do this in two different ways. First, we evaluate how well the census was done. Did we do a good job getting answers? Did we get the correct information? And did we analyze the statistics? We also asked external experts to analyze our work. Next, we also compare the results of the census with other ways to count the population. We take a small portion of the population and we compare it with another small portion to see if the data matches. All of these comparisons are done to make sure that nobody has been counted more than once. It also helps to determine how to do a better job the next time. There's never been a perfect census, but we try to get as close to it as possible. We take our job of a high quality count very seriously. When we publish the dates, when we publish the data, we make sure that they're all high quality. Oh, that's so great to know. And to have a little more trust about what's being done with that information. Now, I want to say again, that information for the census is the information that the Commission of Maps for the redistribution is using or used for these first maps. And so that information hasn't come to the point where we're taking action yet. So we want everybody to be represented. So that information is what we use for those maps. That information is not shared, it's all confidential. All right, folks. Thank you so much for being with us today. If there was information that was helpful for you, please share it with us through the survey. I, I ask you guys to do it because otherwise, first of all, we don't know what's going well in the forum, what needs attention, if something that's missing. There are 3 really quick questions. Doesn't take more than a few minutes. So please help us out. And we're going to have an announcement from Marisol, and we'll see you until next time. Has this live forum been useful? What part of the forum can we improve or change to make it better? Please take our quick survey that's in the comment section to keep the program going for residents. And thank you for tuning in.